Welcome back to Free Football. I'm Free. Let's talk football. Happy Thursday. Happy week 2. It's time for week 2 game picks. But of course, before we get to week 2, let's see how we did in week 1. So not the greatest start. Week 1 is a lot of learning, a lot of homework, a lot of notes. You're going in there with a lot of unknowns and a lot of guesswork. We'll make up for it. A couple 12 and 4 weeks, we'll be back on the plus side in no time. But I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of tough lines this week, so I'm not sure how we're going to end up, but we're going to give it our best shot. We're going to start with Thursday night football. Tonight, Buffalo Bills travel to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Dolphins are 2.5-point favorites at home. Spent a lot of time breaking this one down. I was pretty impressed with what I saw from the Bills last week against the Cardinals. Bills are slightly healthier given that the Dolphins' top 2 running backs both have injury concerns. We don't know if Devon Achane's going to play and Raheem Mostert's already been ruled out. Divisional game should be close. I'm going to take Buffalo with the points here. The Saints are going to Dallas to take on the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are favored by 6.5 at home. We saw the Cowboys be very dominant at home last season, and the Saints I am still out on because they beat a junior varsity team in the Carolina Panthers. So give me the Cowboys minus 6.5. Rematch of an NFC divisional playoff game last year. Tampa Bay goes to Detroit to take on the Lions, and the Lions are favored by 7.5 at home. This is one game I spent a lot of time on, but ultimately I just feel like that's a lot of points. Bucks lost by 8 points last year to us at home in the playoff game, and that included a missed field goal. So I'm going to take Tampa Bay with the points here, but ultimately I do think the Lions come out on top. Cleveland Browns travel to Jacksonville. Jacksonville favored by 3 at home. After what I saw from the Browns last week, I'm not hesitating here. Give me the Jags minus 3 easily. 49ers travel to Minnesota to take on the Vikings, and the Niners are road favorites at 5.5 points. Vikings did beat the Niners at home last year. I believe that was a primetime game, but the Niners look awesome against a good Jet squad on Monday Night Football. I like the Niners here to cover the 5.5 points. Chargers traveling to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Panthers are 5.5-point dogs at home. I'm not betting on the Panthers until Bryce Young shows me he can be an NFL quarterback. Give me the Chargers. Raiders traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Ravens are 8.5-point home favorites. First off, that does feel like a lot of points. And secondly, I did like what I saw in spurts from the Raiders defense. You have Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins with a tremendous pass rush duo there with the Raiders. And you have a Baltimore offensive line that looked in shambles on opening night. I'd be a little nervous here if I was a Ravens fan. I do think the Raiders cover. Give me them with the 8.5 points. The Seahawks traveling to New England, taking on the Patriots. Patriots are 3.5-point dogs at home. The Patriots could slap me in the face for this. Obviously, they look great on the road at Cincinnati last week. Defense held the Bengals to just 10 points. Seattle's passing attack against the Broncos was kind of non-existent. Ken Walker, the only good offensive player for the Seahawks last week, is dealing with some injury issues. I'm going to take the Patriots plus 3.5 here. Colts traveling to Green Bay to take on the Packers. Colts are 3-point road favorites. In 3 games as a starter, Malik Willis is 1-2, and his only career victory was against the Houston Texans in 2022, which went 3-13-1, and that was a 17-10 victory. And Malik Willis completed 6 of 10 passes with 1 interception. He threw for 55 yards. That was a Derrick Henry game who rushed for 219 yards and 2 touchdowns. Basically what I'm saying is Malik Willis has never won a meaningful game in his NFL career, and I don't think he's going to start now. Give me the Colts easily. Smash that minus 3. New York Jets traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Titans are 4-point home dogs. This was probably my toughest one to pick. Obviously the Jets did not have a great showing against the Niners in week 1, and obviously the Titans collapsed big time on the road against the Bears. Which Titans team are we going to see? Are we going to see the first half Tennessee Titans or the second half Tennessee Titans? First half Titans were moving the ball well, they were scoring. Second half Titans couldn't do anything. The way Will Levis closed out that game last week at the Bears just doesn't give me a lot of confidence. I got to take the Jets here minus 4. I don't feel great about it, but that's what I'm settled on. New York Giants are at the Washington Commanders, a divisional showdown. Commanders are favored by 1.5 at home. I'm not buying into anything the New York Jets do until Daniel Jones shows me he can be an NFL quarterback similar to Bryce Young. Danny Dimes going to be out on the street real quick if he doesn't get it together. And the Commanders showed they could put up points, even though their defense is trash. But I'm not worried about their defense being exposed against the pitiful offense of the New York Giants. Give me the Commanders. Rams travel to the Cardinals, another divisional showdown. Rams are 1.5-point dogs on the road. I'm guessing Vegas was pretty impressed by the Cardinals sticking with the Bills last week, and I think the injury concerns for the Rams are definitely piling up. You know, when I made my power rankings, I finally went to go look at some of the major power rankings, and I saw the Rams were down a little bit. Obviously, people are concerned about the injury issues of the Rams. I guess I kind of saw it as a positive that despite all the injuries, Sean McVay put in a perfect game plan to stick with the Lions as good as he did. And like I said, that Rams defense, even though they're young, they were flying around a lot. Kyler Murray was sacked 4 times by the Bills last week. I think the Rams defense is going to give Kyler some trouble, and I think the Rams offense is going to continue to thrive, so give me them plus 1.5. Bengals travel to Kansas City. Bengals are 5.5-point road dogs. I wish I was more excited for this game. Obviously, I'm sure the NFL wishes this was more of a marquee matchup and the line was closer, but the Bengals did not show us anything in week 1. Sounds like they're still going to be without T. Higgins. Joe Burrow did not look great in week 1. Bengals just didn't show me enough to instill any confidence that they can cover this line, so I got to take the Chiefs minus 5.5. Steelers travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. Steelers are favored on the road by 2.5. Every time I think about taking Denver here, TJ Watt infiltrates my brain and just gets another sack. I got to take the Steelers here minus 2.5. Sunday Night Football, Chicago Bears travel to Houston to take on the Texans, and the Bears are 6.5-point road dogs. But the Bears have like 93 yards of total offense against the Titans. I got to see it before I believe it, and the Texans are a really good squad, so I got to take the Texans here minus 6.5. And then Monday Night Football, Atlanta Falcons travel to the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are 6.5-point home favorites. If I had to pick a lock of the week, this is it. We have seen Kirk Cousins for 2 years in a row on Monday Night Football in week 2 at Philadelphia, and he has looked like crap both times. He's coming off an Achilles injury, and this Falcons team looked like garbage in week 1. I might take the alternate line, Philadelphia minus 10 here, maybe minus 13. I'm going to get a little freaky with it on Monday night. Easily 6.5 points. Yes, take the Eagles. Yeah, so we're definitely still in the feeling out stage here as far as lines and confidence goes with some of these things. Week 2 is another week of learning. We're going to learn a lot about some of these teams that are really disappointed. Of course, a lot of these teams didn't play their starters in the preseason, so week 1 was kind of a preseason game for a lot of these teams, but some of these teams just straight up have to be better than what they showed in week 1, otherwise it's going to be a long season. Hoping for some much better football in week 2. Good luck with your bets, good luck with your picks, and I'll see you back here next week. And that's all for free football. Take care.